Hello everyone, this is my presentation for week 7 of the interactive concept, and the experiment that we were conducting this week was the magnetic fluid. So I'm going to get started with my presentation. This is a picture of all the things that I used for the experiment. So we used ink toner, a rare earth magnet, and some vegetable oil. And these are the steps for the experiment. So for step 1, you pour about 50 milliliters of toner into a cup. I kind of just estimated this based on what the video looked like. And for step 2, I added about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil to the measured toner in the cup. Step 3, I stirred the toner and the vegetable oil together, adding extra vegetable oil if needed to make the mixture a nice thin consistency. And I did this until it kind of what I thought looked like the consistency that was shown in the video. For step 4, I transferred the mixture into an even smaller jar just to make it easier to work with. And for step 5, I placed the rare earth magnet on the outside of the jar to test to see if the needles appeared. They didn't really appear at this point, so I tried the second step, step 6. So I placed the magnet below a flat surface and poured the liquid on top. And it was supposed to create the needles, but it did not, which you will see on the next few slides. So these were my results. My experiment was pretty much a fail. It did not work the way it was supposed to work. The liquid mixture of the vegetable oil and the toner did not create the needle-looking magnet effect that I was hoping to get, and it kind of looks like I'm covering the picture here a little bit, but I was thinking that maybe my mixture was a little too watery, like watery consistency. I'm not sure what happened there. These are just some possible reasons that I thought of for the experiment failure. I thought maybe the magnet wasn't strong enough. Maybe I added too much or too little vegetable oil, but in this case, it feels like it was definitely too much. I'm not sure about this next one, but there could be varying properties of ink toners, so maybe the toner I used wasn't as good for this experiment as some other toners could have been. I also wasn't sure about if it needed to be a certain kind of flat surface to use between the magnet and the liquid, so maybe that could have played a part in it. I used like a flat kind of pan that I had. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Regardless of that, the science behind this experiment of the ferrofluid is listed here. So the ferrofluid is defined as a liquid that becomes strongly magnetized in the presence of a magnetic field. So the key feature of a ferrofluid is that it is a colloidal suspension, which means that insoluble particles are suspended in the fluid mixture. So the fluid consists as 2 states of matter. And we can only tell it's a dual state or consisting of 2 states, in other words, until it's exposed to the magnet. So when it's exposed to the magnet, the ferrofluid exhibits properties similar to like peaks and valleys, which are those little spikes that you would see if the experiment did work correctly, and those represent the effects of surface tension and gravity. So the details going into this experiment. So the suspended particles that I just spoke about, they're present in ferrofluid as magnetic material such as iron, and these little particles are coated, so that means that they're not able to aggregate together like they would in a normal solution, which would make them only one single state of matter. And why does this happen? So when the magnet is placed near the fluid under the flat surface, the magnetic field turns the particles into small, tiny magnets that react with the earth magnet. And the particles in the fluid become polarized upon placing the magnet near it. And then these particles can only act in this way when they're exposed to other already made magnets. So they're not capable of performing this kind of function as magnets on their own. There has to be another magnet that's there to kind of help it along the way. So that concludes my experiment and the research I did on it. My experiment did not work very well. However, I could try it again with a few different properties, or maybe change up the amount of material I added in and possibly get a different, more desired result. So thank you for watching my presentation.